Hey everybody, this here is something a little bit different. Well, this here is a Blue Galaxy model 2150 12-inch desk fan, which you've seen plenty of on this channel. But this one is just a little different. This one is actually labeled Frigid. Now that's quite peculiar. Now this is actually not the first Frigid labeled product you've seen on this channel. Way back in I think like 2016 or 2017, I had another Frigid desk fan that was also blue. It was also a plastic desk fan like this, 12-inch, but it was a rebranded Panasonic. In fact, it looked more like this one up here, this blue Panasonic model F1207. I actually can't remember what the model number of this one is, but I have a video on that one. This one is odd because it's rebranded Galaxy. I have mostly seen Frigids being relabeled like Matsushitas or Panasonics, like the one I used to have. So this one I've actually seen once before. There's another collector on Facebook who has one, and apparently there's actually, since I posted this one, there are a few other collectors that have said they also have them. So they're not terribly uncommon, but they're kind of different. I kind of like them. I just think it's interesting because every Frigid has relabeled so many fans. If you remember, I also have this one right here, this little pivot floor fan that's also labeled Frigid. I think this one is a rebranded Super Electric, possibly. I'm actually not too sure about that. But they rebranded whatever brand made these, and then they rebranded Matsushita, and then they rebranded Lasko, or Galaxy. So yeah. And I'm sure there's others out there. So, yeah, this one is essentially just a Galaxy 2150, the blue second generation version. But this one has some interesting characteristics. It's a little bit different. Now, if you'll know, I'm no stranger to blue Galaxies. As you can see, I have 3 others right here. This was actually the first one I got, the unlabeled one. And then I got this one, which is kind of an oddball. And then I got this one most recently from the same Goodwill. That I got. No, I got that one from, hang on, I'm having trouble remembering where I got these all from, but I got them all from various thrift stores. I know I got that one off OfferUp, though. This one came off a marketplace. But this one is actually most similar to this one, the oddball one that I got. I know I got this one from the Goodwill. If I turn it to the side here, you can see it has the same 2-piece motor housing on the back there. The oscillator knob, however, is different. Most of these have the earlier style oscillator knob like that, where there's a screw and they're held on like that, and they're a little bit bigger. This one has the later style oscillator knob where it just snaps on to the shaft, just like this one here, the oddball one. And another strange thing, this one's oscillator arm, its arm is plastic. Most of these have metal oscillator arms, or the earlier ones do, at least, I think. This one is probably just a little bit later because of that. And same with the oscillator knob design. And another thing, you'll notice on the rear grille here, there's this extra ring that's welded onto the back there. I actually didn't mention that in this video because I didn't even notice it. But these two do not have that ring, as you can see. And this one does. So maybe that's just a characteristic of the later ones. I'm not entirely sure on that. But nonetheless, it's very interesting. And the only difference here is that the handle on this one is still the strangest thing. It's the first generation style handle. This one has the regular, the same handle as these two. So that's very interesting. I don't understand why all the variance in these characteristics. And there's also a pretty interesting factory error on the back here that I noticed while I was cleaning it. If you'll notice right here where the handle is welded on, these two spokes here, this one's actually bent, as you can see. It bent out of place right before they welded the handle on, and then they welded it on with it bent out of place. Let's see if I can, so you can see it right there. That's just pretty interesting, and it goes to show that nobody's perfect. Yeah, so this one has the kind of clicking. When you move it back and forth, when the oscillators disengage, it clicks, unlike this one, which is like smooth, and that one clicks. So the two that have the later style oscillator knob click. and the neck bracket is also one of those that goes up and down like that. On the bottom, you've got your information tag, or informations tag, and this one is Appliance Service Department, type 12-1. There's no, like, identifying, like, anything on here for, like, Frigid. And then that's the date stamp right there. I can hardly make it out. If I'm reading it the right way around, I think that's a 0 there, the first one, so it's probably from 1980. That might be a 9. Also, I see a little bit of like a line in the middle there, maybe. So maybe 1980 or 1979? Who knows? But then something else very interesting that I just noticed while I was cleaning it up yesterday is on the back here, the back of the motor housing. Somebody scratched in some numbers or something. I thought this was a phone number at first, but I showed it to my parents and they said that's not a phone number from back in the day. They said it looked like somebody's social security number. I hope it's not. I don't think it is. I don't. Why would you put a social security number on a fan? I think it's like a. It's not a serial. It might be a serial number. Who knows? But yeah, they scratched some sort of identification number on the back of the motor housing back in whenever whoever last had this. And then the center grill medallion is missing some chrome there on the bottom, which doesn't really bother me that much. But, so, I guess now we'll go ahead and start the fan up. So I guess I'll start it up on, make sure the oscillator is disengaged. Start it up on, oh, it's not even plugged in. I guess this gives me a chance to show you the plug. It has one of these LMP plugs. It's the same as, actually the same as these two. They both have the same LMP plugs. Very interesting. Alright, now I'll plug it in. And this time I'll start it up on low. And this one has that sort of high-pitched motor whine that was common in these 80s Sanyo motors. This one's a very smooth runner. Medium. The buttons are a little sticky, I've noticed. Actually switched pretty good that time. Yeah, this one's a really smooth runner. I actually used this one last night while I slept, so ran all night long. Spin down from high. And it didn't need oil when I got it, but I just oiled it, you know, just for peace of mind that knowing that I oiled it. Okay. Wow, okay, yeah, these always have great spin down times. Galaxy or Sanyo, who made the motors, used really good bearings. This one I know has a really long spin down time. It's almost like 2 minutes long. So now I'm going to engage the oscillator, and we'll start it up on high this time. Pretty fast oscillation arc sweep speed. I still think that the later brown ones, that version over there, go faster. But maybe that's just because of the bigger cage on those. So here's medium speed with the oscillation. And finally, low. The buttons seem to be working better now that I mentioned how sticky they were for some reason. I'll probably take them apart and put some oil on that one bar of metal that like moves back and forth. Which is how, like, when I got, I think this one, high didn't work, and that was the problem. It's a pretty good oscillation speed there. Alright. Disengage it and spin down from high. Or low, sorry. Not bad. So, let's see if I can do the spin or startup noise now. It doesn't really have much of one, but I'll see if I can capture anything. Yeah. I mean, there's a little bit of a wind up, like as the blades are starting up, but it's not much. Speaking of the blades, this one's blades are a little bit lighter in color, I've noticed, than the rest of these. Like, that is incredibly dark on that one, so is this one. This one's like a slight bit lighter, but this one is just, it's a couple shades lighter, I've noticed, which is pretty interesting. Yeah, so I think that is about it for this video. That is the vintage Frigid, made by Lasko, 2150 12-inch desk fan, second generation version. Thank you guys so much for watching, as always, and I will see you in the next video.